HYO girls and Body Conquest followers. My name's Ingrid Barclay and I'm here to talk to you about this plan that I have for my Facebook posts on Figure It Out, an honest insight into sports model and figure for 2016. And I'm really excited. I wanted to, start by saying, I know a lot of you know my story, but I did want to just say, well, who am I to be talking about ending emotional eating? And like I say in my seminars, I think that I'm a bloody expert at emotional eating, and we can talk about bowls of potato and cheese and 16 magnums at a time. Mind you, ate at one point, ate 2 hours later, and going and buying them at different service stations because I felt like an idiot and didn't want to get judged. So I'm your consummate closet eater. I've always eaten in the bedroom or lounge room in the privacy of my own home. And, I've tried unsuccessfully to diet many times, which probably stem back from my competing days back 15 years ago. And all this talk about reversing out just wasn't spoken about back then. And I consequently, after my competition, I put on about 30 kilos, and it took me all of about 18 weeks, so not long. And that nearly rocked my weight up to almost 100 kilos. I was about 95 kilos. So at 5'7.5", that's pretty hard to pull off. And I basically remained at 40% for years and years, even while I was training with quite some intensity. So, I got to a point where, for me, I'd had so many Mondays with a fresh start. So many. I had more fresh starts than there are days in a week, practically. So for me, I wouldn't say that I'd gotten to rock bottom, but there was nowhere else for me to go. I had to follow a plan and follow what my mentor taught me. And essentially, I guess I'm now in a position where, I competed 6 months ago. There's been no problems with the food now. I don't emotionally eat. And what I'm really excited to do is talk to you guys and girls about how that's happened and why I'm not obsessed with food anymore and how that happened. So what we're going to do on Figure It Out is every Wednesday we are going to post a video, and that might or might not have an accompanying post. And I'm going to give you one task. Sometimes it might be 2 tasks, but predominantly one task. So I am going to drip feed you how to overcome and end your emotional eating, whether that's stemming from anger, loneliness, boredom, your period, the weather, the spouse's cooking or your mother's cooking. It doesn't matter what the reason is. We're going to end that, and I'm going to drip feed you the how-to. So it's really exciting, but you have to work the program. So there's no good you just watching the video and then not doing the tasks. You must dedicate homework time to doing the tasks. And partly why I decided to do Wednesday is because it's hump day. So I want to give you something to look forward to every Wednesday. And then if you don't have time to watch the video, or you watch the video on Wednesday but you don't have time to do the tasks, you can do it on the following weekend. So I really want you to get organized. Now, I said that I would release my first to-do, and well, I've got two sneaky little to-dos. The first thing that I want you to do is, in the next few days, I want you to go and buy yourself a journal. Now, this little journal was one that I used, and I like the fact that it's small, so it's not obtrusive, but you could get something like this. And this goals journal was from, I think it's Kiki K, which is a lovely shop that has fantastic journals. So you can see in here, life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. and it's got lots of little things peppered throughout it. It's fantastic. So what we don't want is a crappy little exercise book. Get something that you like, that looks nice, because you're going to have the journal with you often and you're going to use it daily because you're going to need to. And sorry for those of you thinking, oh no, I've got a journal. You absolutely have to journal. It is imperative to journal. And I don't know anyone who's overcome emotional eating that doesn't start off with lots of journaling. So that's the first thing I want you to do. Now, on the topic of journals, there's just one other thing I thought I'd mention. For those of you that are really into the apps, or you find that a journal, you don't want to be carrying it around in social situations, which sometimes you're going to need to do if it revolves around food. If you think that you work better, there is, with a phone, there is an app. And the app is a fantastic little app, thanks Emma Hugan, and it's called Road to Recovery. So perhaps some of you might want to download that and work with that. I think a lot of people with disordered eating have used that application, but you know, some of you might find that useful. So that's the first task. The second task I want you to do is I want you to begin to reflect and note down some of your behaviours that are a pattern or a habit. So, I mean, we can focus on the exercise and the nutrition if you like, but I want you to start thinking about all your daily behaviours and what some of the patterns are. What are the habits that you do? And jot them down in your journal. So that's the two tasks. Looking at your habits and buying yourself a journal. And on that note, I will leave it until next Wednesday when I post the second instalment of this. So I'm really excited, and I hope you are too, because it's going to be a fantastic 6 months. So here's to a wonderful, amazing 2016. For those of you that are really, really, really pumped and just you want to get on top of your emotional eating ASAP, I know 6 months might seem like a long time, but hey, some of us, me included, was eating emotionally for like 30 years. So, you know, in the whole scheme of things, 6 months isn't too long. But if you are really, really eager, you can go onto the Body Conquest website, www.bodyconquest.com.au, and you can get the End Emotional Eating course, which runs over 4 weeks, so it's a lot more intensive. And I guess the advantage of that is the short amount of time, and also you will be liaising on a weekly basis for an hour with me, which hopefully is a fantastic advantage. But anyway, that's for those of you that are super duper keen. Other than that, let's have a rocking, fantastic, amazing 2016. And I just want to say one final thing, and that is stay hopeful, because there is always hope. Over and out.